Today we're going to talk about area of rectangles in parallelograms. So make sure you have written this down in your table of contents, and this should be on page 105. So first, let's draw some shapes. So first one, my rectangle. We all know what a rectangle looks like, or at least we should know. It has 4 sides and 4 right angles. And then a parallelogram has also 4 sides, but it does not have 4 right angles. So it's kind of like a slanted rectangle. And now think back to 5th grade when we found area. So if you found the area of a rectangle, which we did on Tuesday, all you're doing is multiplying the length times the width. However, in 6th grade, we do not call them length and width. We call them base and height. So the base is the bottom of my shape, and the height is the distance from the top to the bottom. Just like your height. They measure your height from the top to the bottom. Same thing with parallelogram. The base is your bottom. And now the height, if you notice the sides of these parallelograms, they're a bit slanted. When you go to the doctor, do they measure your height? Do you stand up a little bit slanted? No, you stand up straight. So whenever you're given a parallelogram, you'll most likely have these little dashed lines, which will represent the height. The slanted is just the side. The slanted is just the side. So don't use sides. You never want to use those. Only the base and the height. And then to help you remember, I'm going to just write this down. Base is the bottom of your shape, and then your height is from top to bottom. Remember, if you think I'm moving too fast, you can always pause the video, and then whenever you're ready, you can move on. Alright, so now let's say we're finding the area of these shapes. We're going to have to use our star chart to find the formula that we need. So if I'm finding the area of a rectangle or parallelogram, this is the formula that I'm going to use. A equals BH. What do you think the B and the H are going to stand for? You said base times height, you're right. So we're going to start there, and we're going to write our formula. Without our formula, we cannot solve these problems. It's important to know the formulas when we're looking for the area. So my formula is A equals BH. Now remember, what does it mean when 2 letters are right next to each other? Remember, that means you are multiplying. So this means base times height. And I know you probably remember me writing this down on Tuesday's assignment, because that's basically what we're doing today. And I'm going to put a little cloud around this, because this is important. Alright, so now I'm going to talk about steps, and these are the steps that I need to see for every single problem that you solve. It's just 3 easy little steps. Step 1, the first thing I want you to always write is your formula. Always write your formula so that you know what you need to do. Second step is going to be substitute. And just like the substitute teacher, they come in to replace the actual teacher. We're going to be replacing numbers in the formula. So we're going to be replacing our formula with numbers. And then step 3, we're going to solve. Step 3, we solve. So we're going to look at 2 examples. Example 1. I'm going to draw a parallelogram. So you're going to pretend this is what you're given. This is a problem in your assignment. Let's pretend. They tell you that the dashed line represents 8.2 inches. And then the top represents 1.1. 11.1 actually. 11.1 inches. Alright, so step 1 is to write our formula, which is A equals BH. Step 2, we're going to replace those letters. A represents the area. We don't know what the area is, so we're going to keep my A. My B represents the base, which is the bottom. However, they don't tell me what the bottom is, but I know the bottom and the top are the same length. So this bottom piece also represents 11.1 inches. So that's going to represent my base. And then times our height, which is 8.2. Sometimes they're going to have a number right here on the side to try and confuse you and trick you. You always want to use the one that is straight, not slanted, straight. You never use these sides. So then step 3, we're going to solve 11.1 times 8.2. So I'm going to go over to the side. 11.1 times 8.2. Remember, the number with the most digits goes on top. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 1 is 2. We're done with that. Put a 0. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 1 is 8. And 8 times 1 is 8. We add 2 plus 0 is 2. 2 plus 8 is 10. 1 plus 2 is 3. Plus 8 is 11. And 1 plus 8 is 9. And then we're not done. We still need to move the decimal. 1, 2, 3. So my answer would be, or the area would equal 91.02 inches. And then area is always square. So we wouldn't use an exponent of 2. Alright, let's try another example. Example 2. I want you to try and do this one on your own. I'll do it a little bit easier. And you can go ahead and pause the video, work it out, and then play it to check your answer. So this is going to be 3.2 meters. The bottom will be 13 meters. And then this side is going to be 1.7 meters. Actually, let's make this 3.5 meters. Alright, so step 1. Remember, you can pause the video, try it on your own, and then come back and check your answer. Step 2, we replace. We're looking for A. Base is the bottom, which is 13, times the height. Well, we have two other numbers, but this one's slanted. We do not use this one. We use the one that is straight. So 3.2. And then step 3, we solve. Since they both have two digits, it doesn't matter which one I put on top. We just multiply. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 1 is 2. 0. 3 times 3 is 9. And 3 times 1 is 3. We add. 6 plus 0 is 6. 2 plus 9 is 11. And 1 plus 3 is 4. And don't forget to move your decimal. So my answer would be 41.6. And since this time my units are meters, my answer would be meters squared.